What up, YouTube? T-Moose here. With Judd Apatow's new comedy titled The King of Staten Island opening this week, besides it starring, Pete Davidson as well as, a few others, it also features the always awesome Marisa Tomei, who's, of course, an Oscar-winning actress, and, she's been in the entertainment business, like the acting, entertainment business for, decades. Who just does not love Marisa Tomei? I mean, here she actually plays, like, in the film, she plays, Pete Davidson's, mother, and I've always adored her, and I can always see how good she is in King of Staten Island. But she has a pretty good, like a really cool resume. So, with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Marisa Tomei movies. Alright. Coming in at number 10, I'm going to go with the film Slums of Beverly Hills. Now, this. Alright. Anyway, now this is a comedy that stars, like a coming of age comedy that stars Natasha Lyonne. And it follows a lower middle class family who moves around the outskirts of Beverly Hills, so that way, so that their three children of a divorced dad can attend the city's public school. And of course, the dad in this is played by Alan Arkin. And so, like, Natasha Lyonne's character of Vivian must navigate young adulthood by coping with some recently bully developments, and you got Marisa Tomei who portrays the older cousin Rita, who has like a history of substance abuse here, and you got a few other folks here too, like you got got David Krumholtz as well as Eli Miranda. You got some other really cool cast members. It was also directed by Tamara Jenkins, who did a pretty good job at directing. Robert Redford was one of the producers of this. Carl Reiner was even in this one. And Marisa Tomei's character of Rita is very, sexually liberated and all. And she actually plays the daughter of Carl Reiner's character, who was pretty good in this. It was like Marisa Tomei and Natasha Lyonne scenes were pretty decent. Marisa Tomei was awesome in this one. I mean, if you guys haven't really seen Slums of Beverly Hills, it doesn't really get much love. Like, it got released in 1998, I believe. It doesn't really get talked about a whole lot, but it's actually pretty good. If you guys haven't really seen Slums of Beverly Hills yet, go check that one out. Alright, coming in at number 9, I'm going to go with the Todd Fields directorial debut film titled In the Bedroom. Now, it takes place during summertime on the coast of Maine, and centers on the family in transition. You got Tom Wilkinson, who plays this doctor named Matt Fowler, who's this doctor practicing in his native Maine, and is married to this New York-born woman named Ruth Flower, played by Sissy Spacek, who's a music teacher. And he's also involved in a love affair with this single mother, played by Marisa Tomei. And it's a pretty decent one. Franklin, Tom Wilkinson did, worked with Marisa Tomei pretty good. I believe Tomei actually scored a couple of Oscar, I think she scored an Oscar nomination for this, if I'm not mistaken. I know the film did score a couple of ones. I know Tom Wilkinson scored a Oscar nomination. I believe since SpaceX won or was just nominated. I can't remember between the two. And I believe the film also got nominated for Best Picture, which was a very well-deserved nomination. I mean, it's a really good one. It's really funny. It's heartfelt. A really nice little film. And Todd Fields, he directed this film pretty well. So, I mean, yeah, if you guys haven't really seen In the Bedroom yet, it's a pretty decent one. Coming in at number 8, I'm going to go with a film called Happy Accidents. Now, Happy Accidents is a pretty interesting sci-fi comedy. It's like a comedy that pays tribute to the sci-fi genre. And here you got a character named Ruby, played by Tomei, who is beginning to relish her first ever healthy relationship with with this guy named Sam, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, who's also muttering about become. He's like a time traveler from the year 2470, and they end up, So of course they end up. It's like an interesting subgenre, and plays. It's actually a pretty good sci-fi based film. It's directed by Brad Anderson, who did a pretty good job at directing. You've got Holland Taylor, who played the Shrink, was in this, and there's like a pretty cool series of flashbacks, and the film, sketches Ruby as a neurotic with a unhappy track record with concerning men, and you got Sam, like I said, played by D'Onofrio, who's this oddball who's also afraid of small dogs, and also has a barcode tattoo on his arm, and it's a really decent sci-fi, like a film that really pays tribute to those sci-fi movies you remember seeing in the 80s and 70s and all that. It has a bit of a back, like, it's a very interesting film. It has like a bit of a anyway, it has like a bit of a Back to the Future vibe. Those other time travel based films. It's a really good one. If you guys haven't really seen Happy Accidents yet, check it out. All right. Coming in at number 7 is, of course, Spider-Man Homecoming / Far From Home. Of course, you got Marisa Tomei as the role of Aunt May. I mean, back in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, Aunt May was like in her 70s, I believe, or 60s. Of course, that was played by Rosemary Harris. Of course, in the Mark Webb Spider-Man films, you had Sally Field, who I believe was in her 60s at the time, or 60s, when she, of course, played Aunt May. And now, fast forward, you end up getting a younger version, like a younger person to play Aunt May, and that's, of course, Marisa Tomei. I mean, it seems like Aunt May ended up having the Benjamin Button disease, where she ends up aging backwards. And holy cow, Marissa, whoever will expect that Aunt May from the Spider-Man movies will be attractive? Like, who could ever picture that? And now, she doesn't really have too much to do in the Spider-Man films. I mean, one of the best parts in Spider-Man Homecoming was, of course, towards the very end, where she ends up finding out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Then her last words was "What the?" That was a pretty good scene. Then of course, there's like a nice moment between Tony Stark and her that you actually think could have been like a bit of a romance thing. Then fast forward to Far From Home. All right, spoiler for Far From Home, but the movie's been out since last July, and if you haven't seen it yet, probably have no interest in seeing it. But anywho, fast forward to Far From Home, it ended like people actually automatically thought that Tony Stark would have been with Aunt May. Nope. At the end of Far From Home, it ended up being Happy Hogan who ended up dating Aunt May, which that's actually that was a bit of a better storyline. I mean, Happy Hogan and Aunt May, not bad. That was actually a pretty cool storyline right there. Anyway, yeah, no word on if if we'll actually see Marisa Tomei back as Aunt May for the next Spider-Man film. Fingers crossed she returns. Pretty sure she will, but I don't know. Obviously, if we see news that Happy Hogan, like Jon Favreau's coming back for Spider-Man 3, then we'll have some hopes for that. But hey, anything could happen. I mean, seeing Marisa Tomei come back as Aunt May will be awesome to watch. Anyway. Coming in at number 6, I'm going to go with a little film titled Unhook the Stars. Now, this is a film that was directed by the Notebook director Nick Cassavetes, and in it stars Jenna Rollins as well as Jake Lloyd, who's, of course, Jake Lloyd did this a couple years before he ended up playing young Anakin Skywalker of course, in the Star Wars Phantom Menace, and of course, he played Arnold's, son in Jingle All the Way. But anyway, this was actually, the directorial debut of Nick Cassavetes, who's, by the way, of course, is the son of John Cassavetes, who I believe was is married to Jenna Rollins, if I'm not mistaken. Anywho, and here you've got Jenna Rollins who plays this widow mother named Mildred, who's who ends up being like a baby's kind of like a caregiver to this single mother, Monica, played by Marisa Tomei, and she ends up being like a caretaker for her kid, played by Jake Lloyd. And there's like an interesting dynamic chemistry between John Rollins' character and Jake Lloyd. Those two really work really well together. J- John Rollins, she's been in the entertainment business for like years. I mean, she's a Hollywood royalty right there, and of course, she ended up reteaming with Nick Cassavetes for The Notebook, but Unhook the Stars. While Marissa Tomei didn't have that big of a screen time, like she had a good amount of screen time, but it's more of Jenna Rollins and Jake Lloyd's film. Still, Marissa Tomei, when she popped up, she was terrific. I mean, she was a bit of a unfit mother at times, but she ended up trying to get her act together so she could do right by her kid. And it's a really good one. If you guys haven't really seen Unhook the Stars, go check it out. It's a really decent love film. It doesn't really get talked about a whole lot, though. Alright. Coming in at number 5, I'm going to go with The Paper. Now, this film was directed by Ron Howard, who's always, come on, he's a Hollywood legend. Legend right there. And, here you've got Michael Keane, who portrays Henry Hecker, who's this editor at the New York Sun, and he's also a tabloid, which is a tabloid paper facing financial cuts. And so you got Marissa Tomei, who portrays his wife Martha, who plays him to get more respect, to get more like a respected job. And of course you got Glenn Close, who portrays Keane's boss in this. She was terrific. I mean, this is pretty much. I mean, come on, you got Aunt May being married to the Vulture. I always keep forgetting. Of course, Michael Keaton and Marissa Tomei ended up reteaming once again for Spider-Man: Homecoming, and so, that was pretty cool to see a bit of a reunion for Homecoming. But still, The Paper is a really decent, scandalous-based film. You also had Robert Duvall was also in this, and of course, Harry Hecker is this editor for New York Times, who's also addicted to airline stimulating, and so he ends up learning that the police also think that the killings of these Chumans end up being a mob hit, and so yes, so it ends up being like a bit of a conspiracy based film. It's it's a pretty decent one. Like if you guys haven't really seen The Paper yet, go check it out. It doesn't really get talked about a whole lot, but I believe it got a couple of Oscar nominations. I gotta double check that. But I guess you could say it was like the spotlight of the '90s. You know, not saying that Mike Keaton's in both films, but still. All right. Speaking of Tony Stark and Aunt May, Spider-Man: Homecoming was not the first film that featured Tony Stark and Aunt May. I just want to be upfront there. Coming in at number 4, it's a they were also in a film titled Only You. Now it's about where a childhood innocent has convinced this woman named Faith Korvac, played by Tomei, that her true love is a guy named Damon Bradley, but she has yet to really meet him. And so, like, she ends up preparing to settle down and marry this foot doctor, but she ends up flying to Venice when it seems that she may be able to finally encounter the man of her dreams. Instead, she ends up meeting this charming guy named Pierre Wright, played by Robert Downey Jr. But they can only fall in love when she believes that she is intended to. But she ends up, of course, still believing that she intends to be with someone else and all of that. It's a pretty decent flick, Marisa Tomei and Robert Downey Jr. Of course, this was a romantic film that featured Tony Stark and Aunt May. Getting spin here, but it's a really good one. Those two really had. Of course, they were also in the movie Chaplin together. Around that, so they've actually done other stuff like other films before. Spider-Man: Homecoming kicked in. Of course, they also appeared in Captain America: Civil War together too. But Only You is a really decent one. I mean, you also got John Michael Hickey. You even got Bonnie Hunt was in this one. A really nice little rom-com. If you guys haven't really seen Only You, go give that one a shot. Alright. Coming in at number 3, I'm going to go fulfill another rom-com titled Untamed Hearts. Now, this is a film that stars Marisa Tomei with Christian Slayer. And here you've got Marisa Tomei, who portrays this young waitress named Caroline, who's this waitress who seems to have like a very bad taste in men. Uh, but you Of course, there's like a scene where these guys end up having their way with Marisa Tomei's character, and so you got Christian Slater who portrays this mysterious busboy named Adam, who ends up flying off of them, and they end up, and of course they end up being smitten with one another, and so they and anyway, and Caroline ends up finding about Adam's past and unique and also his unique health conditions and all that. Marissa Tomei and Christian Slater were both pretty good in this one. Like they really play off each other well, and you really don't see a whole lot of Christian Slater anymore. I mean, actually, he is on that Dirty season 2 of Dirty John, which I still haven't seen yet. But who did not love Christian Slater? I mean, come on, Pump Up the Volume. He was in True Romance. Heathers. Christian Slater has been in some really good stuff. And Untamed Hearts is a really decent one. It's a really nice, romantic film. A film about, it's also a film about, where you got where of course, where like a guy, has like a very troubled past and all that, and health condition. And it's also a really tear-jerking film. Like if you guys haven't really seen Untamed Hearts yet, it's a really decent one. Alright. Coming in at number 2, I'm gonna go with The Wrestler. Of course, this was Marisa Tomei ended up scoring an Oscar nomination for this. She didn't win, but I thought she was terrific in that. I mean, of course, The Wrestler was a bit of a comeback for Mickey Rourke, who ended up scoring an Oscar nomination. I still think Mickey Rourke should have won his Oscar, but he lost out to Sean Penn, which wasn't bad. Like, Sean Penn was great in Milk, but I would have given the Oscar to Mickey Rourke. But anyway. I mean, of course, here you got Mickey Rourke, who plays this wrestler who's in the need of a comeback, and you got Marisa Tomei, who actually plays a stripper who he ends up dating and all that. Marisa Tomei as a stripper, that's all you need to know. Come on, Marisa Tomei is just I can't remember how old she is. I think let me remember how old she is. Yeah, Tomei is like 55 years old, and that she still looks good. I'm sorry. But anyway, and I can't remember how old she was when she did this film. I think she was like in her, I don't know, in her early 40s when she did this. But yeah, Tomei as playing a stripper was probably one of her finest performances she's done, and like her chemistry with Mickey Rourke was pretty decent. Like if you guys haven't really seen The Wrestler by now, it's a really decent one. Nice. It is a pretty cool comeback film. He even had Evan Rachel Wood as Mickey Rourke's daughter. She was terrific. Directed by Darren Aronofsky. He did a good job at directing. Yeah, more people need to check out The Wrestler. It's a shame that Mickey Rourke did not really do hardly anything else great. I mean, he also did Iron Man 2, but and Expendables, but that his career didn't really fall true. But Make It Work was great in this. Like, definitely go check out The Wrestler if you guys never seen it. Alright, my number one favorite Marisa Tomei movie of all time. Alright, obviously goes to My Cousin Vinny. Now, of course, this is the courtroom comedy starring Joe Pesci, and this was actually the movie that won Marisa Tomei her first ever Oscar, and it was really the film that put her on the map for most people. Marisa Tomei, of course, she had a very fat mouth. She really played the New Yorker sense very well. She is from Brooklyn, New York, so that's that. But anyway, that aside, Marisa Tomei was terrific in this, and I thought she deserved her Oscar. I know there's lots of controversy about her Oscar win and all that. Like, I'm not even for a what. There was actually a little booing when she actually went up on stage and accepted her Oscar. I have no idea what's up with the controversy of Marisa Tomei's Oscar for this. Marisa Tomei was great in My Cousin Vinny. I mean, of course, Joe Pesci was a tad bit better, but Marisa Tomei just played this role, very perfectly. She was so funny as the role. Of course, you had Ralph Macchio was in this. Who just did not love My Cousin Vinny? I mean, that movie is My Cousin Vinny is one of the funniest films of the '90s, and of course here you got Tomei who plays the girlfriend of Ralph Macchio's character Bill, who's this college kid who ends up getting arrested and all that. But man, Tomei, I also liked her on-screen chemistry with Joe Pesci. They were pretty good at working together. Yeah, I mean, come on, Joe Pesci ends up playing this cousin who ends up having a law degree but no experience. I mean, show that there's a hope for anyone. Anyway, yeah. But I always thought Marisa Tomei was great in this film, and it's a shame that lots of people still always complain about her winning the Oscar for this, but I don't care what anyone says. She definitely deserves her Oscar win. I know Marisa Tomei was terrific in My Cousin Vinny, and anywho. But yeah, for real, if for some ever reason you never see My Cousin Vinny by now, do yourself a favor if it's on like any platform. I don't think it's on Netflix or anything, but if for some ever reason you literally never seen My Cousin Vinny by now, do yourself a favor, go check it out. It got released in 1991. No, it got released in 92. The year I was born. But yeah, definitely go check out My Cousin Vinny. It's a really fun one. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Slums of Beverly Hills. 9, In the Bedroom. 8, Happy Accidents. 7, Spider-Man Homecoming / Far From Home. 6, Unhook the Stars. 5, The Paper. 4, Only You. 3, Untamed Hearts. 2, The Wrestler. And number 1, My Cousin Vinny. Now, she's been in loads of other stuff over the years. Let's see. Lincoln Lawyer with Matthew McConaughey is a pretty good one. Crazy Stupid Love. She was in Before the Devil Knows You're Dead with Ethan Hawke and Philip Seymour Hoffman. She appeared in that Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson comedy Anger Management. She was really good in that one. Like I said, she was also in Chaplin, also with Robert Downey Jr. She was in The First Purge, What Women Want with Mel Gibson. Wild Hogs, Parents of Guidance, Captain America Civil War, The Big Short, The Rewrite, she's in this new movie called Human Capital, which still haven't got released yet. It was supposed to get released in March, but Corona ended up happening, and she was in that Stallone movie, Oscar. Oh yeah, she was in Endgame. Cool. Alfie she was in, The Perez Family, Frankie, 4 Rooms, Spare Parts, Boring, Trainwreck, Love and Strength. Boy, I can't believe how many film roles Marisa Tomei has been in. Anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Marisa Tomei movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is C Movie signing off.